That's right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Mickeyfan.
And wouldn't you know it, folks, we are on the launch day, the official launch day of So You Want to Be an Imagineer season. Oh my god, I can't. Mickeyfan, So You Want to Be an Imagineer is old enough to smoke cigarettes. It's old enough to go out and buy a pack of smokes. It's its 18th birthday. Isn't that incredible?
That is outstanding.
So that's pretty wild. So folks, we are just starting up. So You Want to Be an Imagineer season 18. Actually, Mickeyfan, can you do me a favor? And while we're talking, can you go ahead and link this on the hype thread and let people know that we're okay, cool. So I'll set this up, people. So yes, the challenge is underway. We'll get into the first prompt at the end of the podcast. However, what we're not going to be getting into is any sort of brainstorming that's been going down, because of course, revealing our cards in any way, shape, or form, being like, "Oh, I like the way this team's brainstorming is going," or "I don't know about this team's direction." I basically, the only thing I want to do is help clarify what they can and can't do, but other than that, it's entirely up to them.
Yeah. And also, I think it's just too early to even say whether or not we like what's going on.
I like what's going on. I don't think it's too early to say that. I'll say just on both fronts, I like what's going on, but I don't want to say what direction I'm leaning one way or another. But all right, so Mickeyfan, this last weekly challenge, the elevator challenge, going up, sure. This was a fun one, and I feel like it inspired a lot of people, and I feel like it got a lot of really fun results. What did you think?
I think there was so much cleverness. There was so much smart stuff being done. There was so much originality in these projects. I 100% loved the outcome of these.
Yeah. I did too, for the most part. The only thing I had issue with in some projects were it was a little bit of a challenge for them to kind of contain themselves in terms of like what constitutes as an attraction versus what constitutes as a pre-show. And I feel like some of them, like Pie's Elevator History of Elevators or whatever it's called, and then, just Outbound having an elevator that's just so elaborately themed, it doesn't really connect to a whole lot of anything else. I don't know. There's some projects that kind of toe the line of believability here. But other than that, I mean, we've got some real heavy hitters. We've got some, some really clever ideas that could have used a little bit more time in the oven that we'll talk about. But overall, we'll just go through this and kind of go piece by piece. Now, folks, we're going to let you guys in on a little secret. Did you know that we have a judges thread? Da da da. That's
Mostly
right,
good
folks. Mostly. Okay, so Nate has actually taken the time to compile all the projects, which was, oh my god, so incredibly helpful for judging purposes.
If there's one thing I'm very excited for, it's only having 2 projects to talk about next round.
Yeah, then it'll go up to 3, but even 3 is a lot better than 6.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. Sorry, folks. Mickeyfan, is it on the... Oh, wait, no, I think I saw 10. it. 10, it's on page 10? Okay, I'm on page 10. Somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Let's go ahead and start with...
Nate's in the comments. Hi, Nate.
Oh, hey there, Nate. How you doing? Thank you so much for compiling this. It was so helpful. You don't even know. Okay, so let's start with Joker's Wild and Rocky and Bullwinkle.
I'm gonna let you go first on this because I really liked this.
Oh, I really, really adored this as well. I thought that this called to mind some of the stuff that I had in my Toontown Tower Hotel project in terms of having onboard animatronics in the elevator, kind of like a mystery and imposter sort of happening, a lot of parody, a classic cartoon. And Joker's Wild and we've actually, I believe Rocky and Bullwinkle might have been one of the first things the two of us bonded on back in the day. And we've been friends for like over a decade. So it's really cool in full circle to see something like this from him. And I got to admit, I am more confident about Joker's Wild in spite of the fact that he's like full on adulting and living in an entirely different part of the world. I still think I still think he could come out and be a heavy hitter this season. I really do.
We very much have an international aspect to this competition,
Which I love.
Oh yeah, because we have Jokers in Japan, we have Orlando, who's in Denmark or the Netherlands.
It's one of the two. I can't keep track. I'm sorry, Orlando.
Yep. And isn't Monty Navarro in the Philippines?
Yes, Monty Navarro is in the Philippines. Yes, yes.
Yeah, so huge and relatively huge international aspect to this cast, which I love.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. So yeah, I love all the onboard effects here. I love that it's an ambitious pre-show, but it's a realistic pre-show at the same time. It kind of has a similar vibe as I don't know, like the Hondo Naka pre-show or something like that.
It's like the Hondo Naka pre-show or the Harry Potter pre-show, or it's in that vein, but
yeah.
I'm going to talk about this a lot this round, but an oddball IP is such a good weapon in your arsenal.
Totally. And to tell you the truth, I'm honestly kind of surprised that Rocky and Bullwinkle never found its way into Toon Lagoon.
I'm not all that surprised because Toon Lagoon is comic strips, and yeah, that
I don't know, but if I were designing it, I would like the Jay Ward characters I would have gone with would have been Rocky and Bullwinkle outside of Dudley Do-Right.
Yeah, but yeah, overall, I really loved this. I had just this goofy smile on my face the entire time reading it.
The text is very much in character, and I like that the text is divided by color. That was a good choice in the presentation.
Yeah, and I think we'll get into the benefits of a forum post later, because there were quite a few forum posts, plain and simple, but for this round.
Yeah, and honestly, there were a couple websites where I was like, this could have just been a forum post.
Oh yeah, I was like that for a couple projects as well.
Uh-huh. So it just goes to show, folks, that especially in So You Want to Be an Imagineer, the way we run things, the way we critique things, a forum post is, not necessarily a bad way to go. I don't want to say the same thing about Sorcerer's Apprentice because I've never been involved in Sorcerer's Apprentice from a planning point of view. But yeah, I don't know. I just think a well-executed idea with some good concept art. Websites don't really wow me, to tell you the truth. They really don't, unless you're going like the Disney Dad route and fully customizing it.
Yeah, Disney Dad or Outbounder.
Right.
Yeah, but overall, this is such a great project to start off on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool.
Right.
Next one we go to is Pufflefan.
Yeah. What did you think of this one?
Well, unfortunately, I think the running thing with Pufflefan here is the formatting. You and I kind of both agree.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's better. I think it's better because, like, they didn't do that thing that drove me crazy the first times they presented, where they put
yeah,
the image in the middle of the text. They didn't do that,
yes,
so
that was.
that's already automatically an improvement. But
Yeah, I definitely think there was just some. There's a lot of room for improvement.
and here's the thing: I love that they use knots.
Yeah,
And I think that something like this is a pretty obvious, like, honestly, I would prefer something like this to replace Voyage of the Iron Reef over Knott's Berry Tales, which might be controversial, but Knott's Berry Tales, from what I understand, is just going to be basically a reskin of Iron Reef, and I don't like Iron Reef's ride system to begin with.
it's the
So,
shooter, right?
yeah, and it's just, let's just say the ride system is like, it's not Midway Mania. It's very janky.
Okay. Um,
It's like, oh, the screens are pretty big, but it's just like the aiming is way off. I just don't
okay.
like it. Um, so I would prefer something like this that's more physical.
I
However, I just don't think that a lot of detail went into it.
I thought that there was a lot of buildup for it in for something that didn't really end up with as much as I wanted, if that makes sense.
Totally. And just also, I hate to keep going back to this, but the text was one of the big
Yeah,
problems. The text,
absolutely.
color, and background.
Yeah.
It was a
And
struggle. It was a
I
struggle, Puffle fan. I'm
I
sorry.
I always appreciate, doing something other than just plain white.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna say that right out, but you know, colors are colors are very important.
So, yeah, like I said, I like the placement. Oh, one of the things I do have to mention though is how specific Puff got with the placement of the queue and like how it goes like
Oh
around
yeah,
the bumper cars and behind stuff. And I'm like, okay, this guy has obviously either been to Knott's or is at least very much studied the satellite view of
yeah.
Knott's because it's spot on. It's just completely spot on. It's very, very realistic in terms of the actual placement, and that I applaud.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So,
And I know you said that you like it in knots, but for some reason, and I am not all that familiar with knots, but something about
how
this,
dare you?
something about this doesn't feel very Nazi to me, if that makes sense. Like I always associate knots with this really fun, energetic vibe, and this was something that felt a lot more Disney Sea-ish or Epcot
Right,
Center-ish.
right. I kind of hear what you're saying there. Um, I don't know. To tell you the truth, I would kind of appreciate something a little bit more educational.
Yeah.
And honestly, the best attraction that I'm going to get on my soapbox a little bit here. I'm sorry. The best attraction that Knott's has ever had or will ever have, which is unfortunately closed now, is Mystery Lodge. And Mystery Lodge feels just like an Epcot show.
Okay.
So there is a precedent for edutainment within this park. Not to mention Ghost Town. Like Ghost Town has a lot of historical stuff in it.
Well,
I
isn't
mean,
Ghost
yeah.
Town like an actual ghost town?
Well, it's like a collection of Ghost Town buildings that
Okay.
Walter Knott brought over a period of years. It was a pretty elaborate construction project.
Okay. So you want to be an Imagineer, very educational.
No, I love Knott's. I could go on and on about Knott's.
Yeah,
Fake rock jungles where dreams are made of, Mickey fan.
but yeah, overall, a good project, one that I didn't feel was executed as well as it should have been.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Okay, moving on. Gonna check the comments here.
Yeah.
Space says I'm more of a fan of old school forum posts unless the project require organization.
Yeah.
Oh God. And okay, I'm sorry, Nate. I have to address this. Nate says Iron Reef sucks. I'm glad they replaced it. And Nate, I am 100% on board with you, buddy. I am from the get-go. I liked Iron Reef in concept. I liked the whole like, ooh, it's like a graveyard of lost Knott's Berry Farm rides, and there's gonna be a bunch of Easter eggs and stuff. But no, Mickeyfan, Iron Reef is honestly probably one of the worst dark rides I've ever been on. It's not good. I went on Justice League at Magic Mountain, and that thing is nothing special, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, it blows Iron Reef out of the water. And the whole time I was on Justice League, I was like, why can't this be at Knott's?
We'll
don't get me wrong.
We'll get into
DC,
my thoughts on DC rides.
Yeah. The DC rides wouldn't fit in at Knott's, but I'm just saying, why can't something of this caliber be at Knott's? It just always bothered me that Iron Reef didn't even have a single animatronic in it. It's just
and to keep on this
God.
League, isn't it like full of animatronics or relatively full of them?
There's a good 5 or 6 of them, which I didn't know going in. Going in, I only knew about the Joker animatronic and the Cyborg animatronic. And so, yeah, there's quite a few more in there, which really surprised me. To tell you the truth, it feels more in line with something like the Spider-Man ride. I mean, it's not nearly as good as the Spider-Man ride. Don't get me wrong.
Is anything as good as Spider-Man?
No, but
Spider-Man, not Disney Spider-Man.
Well, we don't know how good Disney Spider-Man's going to be. I don't know.
I have a Midway Mania ripoff.
I'm cautiously optimistic about Disney's Spider-Man. I don't know. Anyways, so now we get on to the future winner of the season, Nigel Channing.
No, but I think he does have a chance.
No, I'm not joking. I'm trying to prop him up here. I think, he says he has a 0% chance, but I really think I mean, just in terms of sheer optimism and energy level for the game, I don't think he can be beat.
And one thing that, and I said this in my written review, but one thing that I have absolutely loved seeing Nigel Channing do is he is constantly growing. He's constantly improving. He's taking our critiques, and he's always taking that step to be better, which ultimately I think that's the best part of these competitions in general, is that we have this community, and we're all trying to become better Imagineers, armchair Imagineers, and critiquing each other, and that's just the spirit of this thing.
Sure. Well said. All right, so I got to admit, Mickeyfan, I think Wally is a little bit overplayed in the armchair Imagineering realms, so I wasn't huge on this one.
For me, it goes in and out. Like, I noticed that there's kind of this surge in, there's a lot of Wally projects lately, and then it kind of goes down again, and then it comes back, and then...
So Wally is like the stock market in armchair Imagineering.
Yes, Wally.
It's like turnips. It's like turnips and Animal Crossing.
Yes.
Oh, I better check my Wally prices today.
I like this. I like that. Nigel Channing is experimenting with his project presentations,
which, by the way, I felt bad about, just because I honestly didn't remember if he had done a slideshow or not.
He didn't.
So, Nigel, I'm very sorry for that critique. And honestly, I was writing that I was feeling really rushed with my critique, so I really should have spent a little bit more time making sure of that. So that's my bad.
Oh yeah. But yeah,
I literally am as soon as I said the turnip prices, I literally went for my Switch.
Gotta check them turnip prices.
Well, I can't check the turnip prices because it's Sunday, but still, there's stuff I can do. Anyways, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I really liked this. I think it was For the most part, it's really smart. It's really clever. It takes the Wally and it takes the aspects of that world and it adds to them. Um, I mentioned this in my written review, but I didn't like that he chose Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, that was weird.
That I like the idea of having a celebrity do the introduction.
Because
To,
it would be like what I
it,
think they should have done is they should have done like a Fred Willard style thing where, it would be a celebrity, but it wouldn't be the
like
celebrity
a
playing the
fictional
celebrity.
fictional celebrity.
Right, right, right. So
Yeah.
like, hi, I'm Matt Damon and I'm playing Dr. Man. Just, as a hypothetical example,
Yeah.
that's too stupid to actually put into a real movie, but I'm just saying. I mean, who would ever name their character Dr. Man? Shade, shade. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I think this was perfectly good, perfectly good project. And yeah,
Great, yeah, cool. I don't have much to say about it. Like I said, I think I do think Nigel is very much exploring what he's capable of
yeah, and
with the effects and everything, and I do think it's well thought out in that regard.
oh yeah,
All right. Okay, moving right along, we have Dash Haber, who maybe had the wild card project of the entire
pregame.
of all four, yeah, of the entire pregame, yeah.
All right, so
This was bonkers, but I kind of liked it.
I I am not familiar with My Hero Academia. I know of it.
Nor am I. I've heard the name, but I don't even know the basic concept.
Online, like it's basically superhero high school.
Okay, that makes sense for the title. I probably could have deduced that on my own. Thank you.
But like I think that this does a really good job at taking the oddball IP
Mhm.
and laying out absolutely everything you need to know about the basics of that world so that Joe Normal from Topeka, Kansas can
I
understand what's
love this
going on.
Joe Normal from Topeka, Kansas runner, by the way. I hope he becomes a reoccurring character.
I would, we'll see. But yeah, I really liked this. And it was a simple form post, but simplicity is not an issue.
No.
Like,
Can I just say this guy, this freaking All Might guy, he really drew me in, man. He really I was like, okay, I know nothing about this show. I know nothing about this character, but it would be kind of like a Hondo Onaka. You know what I mean? Where
yeah,
I know nothing about Hondo Onaka outside of like a vague synopsis of what he does on Clone Wars, and then obviously, his content in Smuggler's Run. But just based on Smuggler's Run himself, I fucking love Hondo Onaka.
yeah, like, and that's the same vibe I got here with the All Might bit of, you know, very, very Superman parody,
Right,
basically.
right. Very over the top, like self-grandizing
Yes.
Superman. Like if Superman had a huge ego, essentially.
That's pretty much what I got, and I love it. Like it illustrates the world so well.
Oh, totally, totally. It's a good character choice.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
then
that's the thing with IPs that you don't think other people will be familiar with is that having the right character in there.
yeah,
Like I think Hondo is the perfect new character to represent like the Clone Wars Rebels era of Star Wars. And I honestly don't know if you could have picked a better new character to represent that particular ride than Hondo.
oh yeah.
So character selection is everything.
Yeah, and this was perfect.
Yeah, well said. All right, let's see. Anything to say about the elevator itself?
I thought it was really well done, and I thought it was really he made it come alive in my head.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I think there was a lot of moving parts to it. I think maybe I got to admit it's one of the projects that maybe toes the line for me on a little bit ambitious, but it is a pre-show. You know, it's not meant to be a standalone thing. So,
Yeah.
so in that regard, I think I really got a kick out of it. All right,
Yeah.
moving on. Gonna check back in the comments here. Nothing going on.
Nothing going
Nate
on.
just still saying Iron Reef. Iron Reef sucks. Yes, indeed. I just want to eat John's incredible pizza. Gonna eat. Gonna hit the egg extravaganza when it's Easter.
And
Next one is Basket Buddy. Oh boy,
did you love this as much as I did?
this is easily the best one of the group, I think.
Oh yeah.
I mean, God, just the way that he puts everything into words is just incredible.
Yes, and the like everything I wanted to know about this, how it would work, how it would just do everything was so
It's not
perfectly,
just how it would work.
and
The
how it
essential
comes to life.
thing, the essential thing is how it would feel in the
Yeah.
moment as you're experiencing it. That's the difference with his prose, and that's why I think this knocks it out of the park.
Oh yeah, and you know,
Because really, when you think about it, it's a pretty damn simple effect. It's an
it is.
IMAX screen, some lighting effects, and the IMAX screen like physically goes down with you.
It hap-
Like
it
it's
hap-
simple.
yeah, and the backstory for the most part makes sense. You're a junior member of the Justice League. I don't know if Batman would reveal that to
I'd have to go to Blue Dragon 5 to sign off on if the backstory makes sense or not, honestly. He'd be the expert there.
As far as theme park backstories go, it's better than
It makes about as much sense as Justice League Battle for Metropolis, all right? It makes about as much sense as that.
Yeah. And now that we're on our DC project, can we talk about how much of a bummer it is that Six Flags is the one with the DC IPs?
Yeah, and like I said, Battle for Metropolis, like if they could do more stuff that's like that, then you know.
Yeah, but we would never get something like this from Six Flags. I love Six
No, we
Flags.
wouldn't.
I
We
grew up going
wouldn't.
to Six Flags, but we would never get this.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I have a lot of nostalgia. I think Six Flags does put more effort into their theming than people give them credit for when you
Oh
look
yeah,
at stuff like the cues for Batman the Ride and stuff like that. And like even stuff like honestly most of the cues for their DC coasters have something to like about them.
yeah,
But I mean obviously the theming kind of just ends at the cue. That's the
yeah.
problem.
And characters like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern. They
Even Green Lantern's first flight had a good cue, darn it.
they all deserve a bit more than just a regular coaster.
I hear you.
Not to discount a coaster, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, just in general, I just think that it's very novel the fact that he takes all these simple things and blends them together.
It's very seamless.
It kind of reminds me of the whole like, well, I was playing around with my erector set one day and then I realized I could raise and lower the seats. It's kind of like that sort of novelty, right? Like
Yeah.
it's so simple that it almost feels like you could do it in toy form.
Oh yeah.
But in practice, it would really, really be cool.
Oh yeah.
All right, and speaking of which, I love the tease of like, oh, I don't know if the Batman project is, or if the Batman ride is even going to be as good as the queue.
I really liked that.
I gotta tell you, I've had that experience with several rides. I think Escape from Gringotts the queue is better.
Well, once you get into
Um,
the bank, it's better.
well, yeah, sure, than the ride.
Yeah. Same for Forbidden Journey.
I would not say Forbidden Journey is better than the ride. I
I
will
think
say that Mission Breakout is better than the ride.
I haven't been on it, so I couldn't tell you whether. But yeah, I really really liked this.
Yeah. Okay, so can I just scroll down to the next one? Yeah, because we have Outbound. Okay.
Yeah. The
Okay,
the
I got to
Fozzie,
admit.
the Fozzie trilogy is complete.
I've got to admit, this is the project for me where I felt like the whole Fozzie Bear trilogy of it all maybe became a little bit of an interference compared to the actual project itself.
A little bit, because I admit that I had some trouble finding the actual project.
I had a lot of trouble finding the actual project here, man. I'm sorry. The actual project is good.
Yeah,
I do think it's probably my least favorite of the four Outbound projects, just because, like I said earlier, I feel like he kind of toes the line where I don't really quite understand what this elevator's connected to.
I on one hand, yes, I see where you're coming from, but I feel like just because the name Muppet Studio Tour was there, I kind of I kind of got just the general vague idea of what he wanted, what he was going for, and just put
Okay, but
the
you will admit that projects like the Batcave project really set that stuff up way better, right?
it did,
So
but
that's the difference there. That's the difference for me.
yeah, I thought that it was it was just really well done. Like it could have been done
It was
better.
well done. It felt like a slow moving Tower of Terror, which to me, in its own right, is an attraction.
I see what you're saying, and I get what you're saying, but like, something about this just captured me for some reason. I think it
And
was
I'm
just
not saying it's not well done. I'm not saying
yeah,
it's not clever. I'm not saying the
absolutely. I think
showpieces are. Yeah.
it's one of those projects this round that gave me this really stupid grin on my face.
So yeah, I mean, going forward, I hope that Outbound doesn't try to tie Fozzie Bear into like everything that he does throughout the season or
I,
anything.
I think this is a good. This is the line. No more Fozzie.
Because I feel like the joke was that Fozzie was overbearing, and now I feel like he's genuinely overbearing.
I hate you for that pun.
Bearing. Oh god. Uh, but yeah, good project all around
Yeah.
though. And then
And then
let's
we
see, I
have
believe a
Pies.
couple others here. Pies is on the next page, and don't we have that guy from Florida as well?
Yes, I missed that.
Did we skip over him?
Um, I think Nate skipped over him on accident, actually.
I think that's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you find the page that his is on?
I can.
Okay, what we'll do is we will
Kill time.
well, I was gonna say we'll where's Pie's project, damn it.
It's a little further down, I think.
No, I think it's on the next page. Or did I skip over it? Sorry, folks.
41 for Pies. Oh, and that guy from Florida's is just further down from it.
What now?
Pies is page 41, and then
Say that one more time.
Pies is at the very top of 41, and that guy from Florida's is a little further down.
All right, sorry about that. I think we were kind of getting a little spotty there, but
Yeah.
Okay. Or I think my computer was just, I don't know, it was like starting to. Oh, there's Pies. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, The Elevator of Elevators, A History of Elevators. What do you think?
It was another one where I had that really stupid grin. It was, I like the alternate history aspect. I like the idea of a pre-show to the pavilion in general. I like the idea of how
I'm on a show. Sorry, go ahead.
I liked the idea of how it had that sense of humor that not a lot of Epcot Center had.
Yeah, but at the same, to me, it felt like a perfect combination of like the Epcot Center kind of like, oh, we're going to educate you on the new technologies of the modern world, and then also like the cheesy ass like 1960s World Fair, like, oh, it's a world of tomorrow and blah blah blah.
That's what I loved about it.
So yeah, it very much kind of calls to mind the World's Fair for sure. And World of Motion in general is something that I've always been kind of fascinated by.
It's probably the single most underrated part of
original Epcot.
Yes. Like, you have your imaginations and you have your horizons, but World of Motion is kind of just there, unfortunately, because it is really good. It's hot take, it's probably better than Horizons.
Oh, that is a hot take.
That's a very hot take.
Piping hot. I don't know if it's better than Horizons do, but I will say comfortably that it's probably better than Living with the Land in any of its incarnations.
I love Living with the Land, but I don't disagree.
I like Living with the Land. I don't love it. I'd love it if the dark ride was longer and the greenhouse was a little shorter.
Yeah. But yeah, I really like this. I think that this was, to his own admission, he wasn't able to finish it, and I wonder what it would have been like if there was a bit more time.
And I like that Epcot Center has an observation tower, because that is something that really feels like it would be in place.
Yeah. Hopefully we get that soon-ish, if it's not cut.
And finally, we have Alice in Wonderland Down the Rabbit Hole from that guy from Florida. What do you think of this?
I like it. I think that it's very basic. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I like that it replaces the Speedway.
Yes.
Which does anyone think the Speedway has any purpose?
I've never been on it. I've been to the park like 3 or 4 times, and not once did I ever even like have a desire to go on it.
Exactly.
Like when I look at it from the People Mover, I'm like, wow, that doesn't even look like a Disney park. It looks like a Scandia. I mean, I'm not a big champion for Autopia, but at least Autopia has some sort of cohesive theme and scenery to it.
I like the idea of the painted lady facade.
Yes, that was one of my favorite elements to it. I feel like it fits really well with kind of the Through the Looking Glass aesthetic, how that book starts.
Yeah. And, I like how, it recreates a scene from the movie, but it does it in a very clever way.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I do think that the only issue I have with it is that it's a cool elevator effect. It's the floor rumbling to kind of simulate the drop. That's something that we've seen before. It's not really
Oh yeah,
pushing any boundaries per se.
yeah, but
It doesn't
no,
have to push boundaries, but the fact of the matter is it doesn't.
yeah,
So,
no, it is something we've seen before, but it was a decently cool take on how it works.
yeah. Okay. And I believe that's everything, right?
I believe it is.
Okay, so would you like to talk just a minute about the projects, the next projects?
I would love to. I'm very excited.
Okay, so
Oh, but
replacing the fan.
before we do that, should
Oh
we
yes, yes, yes. Go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, so we do have we have been counting points for these pregame rounds. So in third place with a total of 552 points, we have Pi. In second place with 576 points, we have Basket Buddy. And are you ready for the winner?
I'm ready to get shocked.
With 588 points, Outbound.
No.
Yeah, shocker.
It is cool that Outbound and Basket Buddy did come within about 10 points of each other, though.
Yeah, just under 10 points.
Right, so let's talk Epic Universe.
Yeah, so
Go ahead.
I'm very excited for Epic Universe in general, but
I am too.
There is part of it that, all right, that's a bit of an, are you sure you want that?
Look, I know the Potter lands have been successful for you in the past, but Fantastic Beasts isn't exactly Potter.
I love the concept of Fantastic Beasts was so exciting to me. And then they ruined it.
The first movie was pretty good. It's not anywhere near as good as the best of the Potter movies, but it's pretty good. But oh my god, Crimes of Grindelwald is just one of the big what the hell were they thinking movies.
It really was.
It was that movie is just a train wreck from scene to scene to scene.
And it wastes that cast.
Oh yeah.
You have I just
all right, we can't turn this into a podcast about Crimes of Grindelwald. We all know it sucks, but that's exactly why we need to right this wrong and replace Fantastic Beast within Epic Universe.
Absolutely.
Because seriously, we cannot have one of the anchor lands in Epic Universe be based on the Crimes of Grindelwald.
Yeah.
Please, God, no. That seriously can't happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as a whole, Epic Universe is shaping up to be a very interesting park in general.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it has the potential to be the U.S. equivalent to Disney Sea.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, I don't know. I'm optimistic.
But yeah, I'm very excited to see what our teams come up with for changing an aspect of this park.
Yeah, we've already seen a lot of interesting IPs thrown around, and we're not going to say a damn word about what we think of any of them.
I will say there's one IP that I really want that hasn't been mentioned yet in either brainstorming, and I'm not going to say what it is.
Ooh, you'll have to tell me off air.
Yes.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us, right?
I think it is. I'm really excited to see where the projects come out.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining us. You all are awesome. I can't wait to see how the season shapes up. Honestly, if each person comes and brings even just a little bit to the table in this opening round, then it's going to be really hard to see people go and be eliminated. I've been thinking a
Oh, yeah.
lot about that recently, honestly. Just the actual pain of eliminating people this season is going to be insane.
It, would you say
It's
that
going to
this
be
is one of
legitimately depressing.
would you say that this is going to be one of the strongest casts in So You Want to Be an Imagineer
I think
history?
so. I'm confident about this.
Yeah, I you know, looking in and out with this with this competition, I absolutely think this is one of, if not the strongest cast ever.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, there's still some people, some outliers who haven't showed up to the brainstorming yet, but they've got a week. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Oh, yeah.
I want to make sure that everyone in the cast at least shows up in the first round so that we can for sure do the 18-person thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only concern I have about it right now.
Oh, yeah.
But
I get it.
if that happens and if all 18 people do in fact show up, I mean, we're in for a wild ride.
Absolutely, it's going to be tough.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's going to be a great season, and fuck Voyage to the Iron Reef. Have a good night, everybody.
Goodbye.